Hey everybody, I'm back. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Uh, uh, I was initially going to be doing some reviews uh, yesterday, but some health concerns came up. Nothing to worry about or anything like that. It's nothing crazy, but it came up out of the blue, and I couldn't do make certain videos yesterday like I was intending to do. But um, well enough to go through some stuff that I wanted to do yesterday. So I want to make sure I get that done. So first things first, there's been a video that's been circling a few days ago, or at least a couple of days ago, that really got under my skin as a Yu-Gi-Oh fan. And I wanted to play this video. It's like 14 minutes long, but it really kind of like broke my heart. This man whose wife divorced him over Yu-Gi-Oh. Now this guy who apparently has been like a big YouTuber when it comes to, at least his focus has been on Yu-Gi-Oh as his like main content for his channel a long time ago. I haven't heard from him until now. I don't even know his name. I've been trying to search for that a couple of days ago, but I just got his video, so maybe you guys will recognize him, and you can leave a comment. Let me know if you know this guy's specific name. But yeah, I was gonna go ahead and play the video and let you guys check it out. Like I said, it kind of broke my heart when I, you know, seen this.
I need to say this. Let me just say it straight out the way. I am no longer married, and I'm divorced. This is not what this video is about, but there's something that you guys need to know. Um, when I met this woman, and I told her about my Yu-Gi-Oh stuff, she hated it. She didn't like it. She said that, hey, you could do something better with your life. You should go back to school. So you know what I did back in 2016, 17, 16? I said, you know what? Maybe she's right. And you know what I did? I sold all my equipment. I sold my YouTube channel. I sold all my camera stuff. I'm like, you know what? Maybe it is time to move on. Maybe it's time for me to do something better with my life. Not knowing that at that time, what I had was very special. At that time, something that I chose to do, YouTube, I had something going on. Even though I had some drama and stuff going on before, and I shut down my channel a few times, I had something that I completely gave up. I gave it up because someone said, hey, you know what? Maybe it is time to move on. You got to do something better with your life. There's got to be something more for your life. And I sold all my stuff for a woman. And she's no longer here. And this problem persists. She told me at that time, hey, you want to meet my mother? You need a car. Because I didn't have a car at the time. I was doing YouTube. I was working from home. I didn't need to drive anywhere. Yes, YouTube is what I did for a living. It's how I paid my bills. And I was street performing also. How did I street perform? I just catch the bus 20 minutes down the street, played my horn, went home. I never needed a car. But when I met this woman, you have to go back to school. You have to exercise. You have to get your degree. You have to do something better with your life. Even though I explained to her, this is what I chose to do. A woman comes in your life and try to tell you the plan that you chose for your life is wrong. And out of love, I choose to say, you know what? Maybe she's right. And I took a chance. I took a chance. I said, you know what? I'm going to give this up completely. Like, for good. Sold the channel to Jobber. Sold all my stuff. Tried to go back to school multiple times. There's some, I don't want to say that I can't finish school, but it certainly feels like I can't. I don't know what it is. And every time I talk to people, they just think that everything I say is just an excuse. You are a grown man. You are an adult. You can do it. It's like no one can see it from my perspective. It's like I am always wrong. When I study, what I do? I fall asleep. What do they say? Hey, you're lazy. You're procrastinating. You're choosing not to do this. And I'm like, that's got to be something wrong with me. When it comes to school, studying, and staying on task and staying focused, I just can't do it. And I try, and I go back to school, and I pay all this money, and I pay all this money, and I pay all this money, and I fail, and I fail, and I fail, and I fail. Music has always been there for me, and I've always been great at it. People say that, hey, they try to test me. They say, hey, you know music, right? You know this person? No. You know this person? No. You know this person? No. Well, how are you a musician? I also get people say to me, hey, what key is this in? I say, I don't know. Like, well, they say, well, how are you playing? How are you a musician? How do you play so well? I am not the type of person who is book smart or knowledgeable. I don't know things, but I know how to do things. I know how to do things physically in a creative way. I'm not the type of person who retains things and hold on to things, who can read a book and then take a test, pass it, and go on. That's not me. I am a creative-minded person. Anything that involves creativity, I can do, at least to some degree, where people are like, wow, you do it so well. You ever thought about going to school? No, I tried. It doesn't work. So, this is all tying together. I met the parents. They asked me, hey, what do you do for a living? I had to tell them I am a musician. I couldn't tell them I was a street musician. I am a musician. Then they said, hey, you have a degree? I said, I don't have a degree. My ex-wife parents did not speak to me for 2 years and told her not to marry me because I don't have a degree. What sense does that make? So I give up this YouTube thing. I give up my entrepreneurial things. I try to do something that's not innately a part of my strengths at all because I'm thinking I'm in love to do something for somebody to prove something. And this continues on through the marriage. She says, hey, you need to find a hobby. I'm like, oh, let me play Yu-Gi-Oh again. So, last year, I start my channel up again. I buy my channel back from Java. Like, oh, she gave me the okay to go into a hobby. You know what she said? You're spending too much time playing those cards. It's either the cards or me. She literally said that. I'm like, you just said I need a hobby, I get into a hobby, and now you said I'm doing it too much. What is it? What do I do? She says, why are you into those cards so much? I said, hey, I need to make a video about something. And I haven't played this card game for 2 years, on and off. How can I make a video for my subscribers about something I have no knowledge of? And I try to explain it to her, but she don't get it. She thinks it's just cards you pick up and you just play like Uno. It's not that way. Every 3 months, a new set come out, new stuff come out. I can't make a video about something if I don't know what it's about. I can't start my channel back up and just start making videos. I have to be in it. I have to learn about it and learn what's going on. So, she hated those cards. She literally cried because of those cards. And people say, hey, priorities, man. It's your wife or, you know, you got to do what you got to do. But then I'll be back at that point where I'm giving up things that I like, things that's a part of my life for someone else to feel happy. And I feel miserable in the process. I'm sitting there watching all these YouTubers come out and make videos and do all this stuff. They're traveling. I'm like, that's what I used to do. I love that. I miss that. Why can't she come along with my journey instead of scrutinizing me? And then that's money gone from me. It's not about the money, but that was money gone from me. Then street performing. I said to her, hey, I don't want to move away from Baltimore. You may be thinking, why? That's where my home base is. My gigs, my performances, everything. Keep in mind, I didn't have a job. Like, when I say I don't have a job, like a real job. A real job is, going in 9 to 5. I didn't have a real job for over 10 years. It was YouTube and playing my horn. That's how I paid all my bills. So when we got married and we moved out to Baltimore to somewhere else that I didn't want to be, she said, hey, how come you're not paying the bills? And I was like, what? I have a job. I have a 9 to 5 job. I don't make enough from this 9 to 5 job to pay all these bills. Before then, I could street performing in YouTube. I made enough money off of that to pay the bills. Now I'm working 9 to 5 all day long, and that's not a complaint because there are people who do that. But I had something that most people wish they had. Most people wish they can go out, make some money, pay their bills, and have all day off. That was a gift. That was something that I had. Now, you could take this video as me complaining, crying, I messed up. It is all of that. It is true. I am complaining. I am hurt. I made some mistakes. I did some dumb things. And you're right. It is my fault. I chose to sell my channel. I chose to give up this thing, not realizing, say, you know what? This is my YouTube channel. This is my life. You can't come into my life and dictate to me and tell me what's better for me because you don't see it from my perspective. And then get mad at me when I lose all of those things that I can't do, and I can't do what you think I should do. I've never been that way. It's like you're trying to tell me to walk or run a lap or a race with no legs. You're trying to tell me to do something that I innately just cannot do. And when I say I can't do that, it's just an excuse. So I'm moving out. In 2 weeks, I'll be moving out. I'll have my own place again. I'm starting my life over. And you guys know I couldn't make videos when in the house. The only time I can make YouTube videos is when she's gone. And you might be thinking, oh, why is that? She would come in here from her room and say, hey, you're too loud. Hey, I'm trying to read. I'm like, wait, what? I gotta talk. I gotta make a video. I'm disturbing her. And yes, I'm venting and I'm ranting. If you stayed this long, thank you. If you didn't, it's okay. But I needed to get this off my chest because it was brewing. I am deeply hurt. And I hurt myself. I don't blame her at all. Everything that I've chosen to do is because I wanted to do it. I wanted to make someone happy. I thought I can be that person for someone else, and I thought I can do it. I thought I can get away from YouTube and Yu-Gi-Oh! And street performing. I thought I can go back to school and pass and get a real job and make some good money to pay all my bills. I thought I could be that man who could do those things. But the truth is, I have special gifts and talents that other people wish they had to be able to pay and make money and do things in ways people wish they could. It's ironic, isn't it? It's ironic that I wish that I can go to school and work a 9 to 5 job all day long and pay all my bills. It's ironic that I want to do what people hate to do. They hate to go in and live a mundane life. They hate that. And they want to have their own business. They want to make their own money. They want to have their free time. I had that. Literally, I would work 3 hours a day, and have enough at the end of the month to pay all my bills and do whatever I need and travel. But that wasn't good enough for the person I was with. It wasn't secured enough. What if you didn't make enough was the question. What about medical bills? What about this? What about that? What about retirement? What about all the stuff? So, I truly want to do YouTube full time. Not for a living. Yes, money comes along with it. And yes, my channel is dead. But I'll do it as a hobby because I like doing it and I can't give it up. I've made a video about not giving up before. I said I would never give up. I just can't. I enjoy making videos. I enjoy playing Yu-Gi-Oh! I enjoy being with my friends and doing those things. Even at this age, even 15 years later. I'm done. Thanks for watching. You can leave a comment. Tell me. I will. I'm stuttering. If you guys did not know, I have a speech impediment. Some of you guys say, hey, why you stutter? Why you sound like Bill Cosby? I have a speech impediment. I never told you guys that. Just realized that.
All right, that's pretty much, that's pretty much the video. It breaks my heart. Now, the only thing I have, not like a knock, but a huge suggestion that probably should have been taught to him years ago is that, when you're meeting a significant other and you go over each other's hobbies and interests and all that stuff in the courting phase, if he, doesn't understand or he or she doesn't understand the things that you're into, things you find personal joy in, and they try to deter you from it, or they think negatively about that, or even if they don't personally care for it, but still doesn't have push you away from it. It's just the person is probably not right for you if they try to push you away from something that brings you personal joy. Any couple, any real good faith couples will tell you that they all have their own personal interests. Sometimes they have shared interests, but they don't need to like the same things you like. But at the same time, they don't try to deter you away from things that you find personal joy in, even if they don't understand it. And I hope this dude get his, everything back on track. You guys have tried to follow him. I don't even know the guy's name. I'm pretty sure he has some kind of, maybe it's like a link or something below him. Oh, I love music. He got like something Clark. J. Feth Clark. We love music. He got like your Yu-Gi-Oh child. I guess that's his like Patreon or something like that. Yeah, I mean, like, you can easily look this guy up, but honestly, man, that is just like heartbreaking. And that one was dead wrong for treating him like that. He was doing well. Clearly, he was taking care of himself. And I remember, so he shouldn't, nothing should have been an issue for you. And especially if your parents found some kind of fault with him, or like you got, some kind of level of shame about what he does, then don't, clearly, like, clearly you like him enough to marry the guy. But if most of the stuff he's into, or something that doesn't jive well personally, like, oh, he's a music street performer, and that doesn't suit you, sit well with you, or if he expressed that this station in life is where he's comfortable at and he probably has no ambitions beyond that, then if that doesn't jive well with you, don't get involved with the guy, because you're wasting both of your times. That's what I find it more egregious, because now you left the guy with heartbreak and left him having to start from the ground up, because he gave everything up for you because he loves you. And I don't care for a person who does that to a man or a woman who, has some kind of interest. It's like, I love Yu-Gi-Oh! That and Pokemon is probably like my two top favorite. I've mentioned this plenty of times to you guys on my channel. Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon is probably like my favorite animes of all time. I'm probably around the same age as this guy, and Yu-Gi-Oh! Hit me at just the right time. And I just I gobbled information about Yu-Gi-Oh! Up like, like a kid in a candy store. And it just, oh my God. I mean, it doesn't even have to be Yu-Gi-Oh! It could be any interest. As a matter of fact, there was like a thing, I watched a lot of podcasts, and there was like a thing not too long ago. There's like a BuzzFeed article where they list the top the top 10 interests, men's hobbies that women find unattractive. And it's just like, it's so stupid. It really is. One second here. Gotta find that BuzzFeed article. Where is that thing is? Okay, video games is number one. Taxidermy, gambling. Now, I can understand that a little bit, and online trolling. I understand those two a little bit because they can easily reach to dangerous levels. But magic tricks, comic and figurine collection, building model trains, bird watching. I was like, seriously? And it's like, I don't know who did this. What group of women did this survey, but it's like men can't have their own personal hobbies anymore. And from other podcasters who brought this up, they all thought, especially the men, because I'm sorry, it's insulting and misandrous. It is. It's like, guys, if it doesn't got nothing, because I heard this from other podcasters, mind you, and I agree that if it ain't glamorous, or if what brings a man joy ain't coming from the woman or themselves, then they kind of poo-poo it. And it's like, the guy likes building model trains. Let him have his freaking model trains. He ain't dragging you in it. Some might argue that the best form of love is like get involved with the things that he loves to do, and you might find some level of love to it as well, and something you guys can bond over. But even if that's not the case, don't shirk that altogether because that'll just make him miserable. And that's not fair to your man. Because there's plenty of stuff that, like, guys find, I won't say unattractive, but kind of boring that girls do, like watching makeup tutorials. No guy's really into that stuff. Unless he's like a metrosexual or something like that. I don't know. But it's just like, but guys, we're not too bothered by that. That's y'all thing. Do it. And it's just like, I hear this is, thrown in guys' face all the time. Like, you knew I was into this before you met me, so why are you trying to change me and all this other stuff? Well, you knew this guy was into Yu-Gi-Oh before you met him, but now you're trying to change that. You don't have to like it, but don't get involved with this guy. If none of the stuff that, at least a majority of the stuff that he's like all about or what he's into or whatever, street performing, all that stuff, if none of that was appealing to you from the jump, don't get involved. Because I think the mindset was, and I think it's like a case for a lot of women, they think like they can change a guy. And it's like, oh, because you find him at some level attractive, that's why you pursued further with the relationship. But you got probably this lofty ideal of changing this thing because, like, oh well, we'll nip that in the bud eventually, like, because there's nothing wrong with growing with a person and trying to get them to go to, like, school, or try to show him other outlets, try to I guess in her mindset, try to uplift him and, give him, some different perspective, which is not inherently a bad thing. But the way she did it here is horrible. You just did not like the stuff he's into to the point where you like the aesthetic, but you're, changing certain key components. You're building a bear kind of situation. It's like, I want like the perfect guy I want, and I don't accept his flaws or certain things that he's into. I want to change it and morph it to the ideal perspective to make sure I can flaunt it not only to my friends but my family, instead of just accepting who he is as a person. And it's just disgusting. I was like, I could not believe this. It's like, and sure, like, this guy clearly, I'm not sure if he saw a therapist or anything like that to see like why, like, because some guys just ain't good at the book learning part. Maybe that's probably why he doesn't do well in school or wherever. He's just probably good with his hands, or he doesn't know certain things but he can do certain things. Maybe he has ADHD. I'm not sure. But there's some people that are like that. They just know how to do certain things but can't really articulate how they know it. And that's what I'm gathering from this guy, from what he's, how he went on this dialogue. And I was like, man, like, I feel his pain. And if you're meeting somebody and you don't have to, like the same things they like, but if you can't accept them, warts and all, don't pursue it any further. Save them and yourself some heartache and not waste each other's time. She clearly wasted his time, causing him to move to an entire different state that he did not want to initially. And I do need to understand to, like, probably stand his ground a little bit, because she seems like she kind of bulldozed the relationship, and she was easily making you do this. I'm not sure how the conversation probably went, but I'm pretty sure he probably just caved eventually because he probably nagged him to death about it. But he should have just stood his ground. It's like, hey, like, I'm good with the street performance, with my musical talent and this Yu-Gi-Oh channel. Like, I'm good. I'm doing well for myself. I don't seek any higher goals beyond this. If you and if you're cool with that, then you can stay. But if not, there's a door. Be well. But like, and this is something I'm not budging on, and that's what he should have done. Because no, he's not forcing him to stay. You know, she can leave, find somebody that's probably better, that's more suited for her. But he apparently didn't do it, and that's something he probably should learn when he's going back into the dating scene again, and make sure that the next girl understand what he's into and accepts it, and or even better yet, or is into the same stuff that he's into. It'll be a better fit, and probably can do a Yu-Gi-Oh channel together. Yeah, that probably be ideal. But yeah, and yeah, don't try to ruin a guy's hobbies. It's like there are certain things that men and women don't need to be up under each other about. It's like you got we got their own shared little things that we share together, and there's certain things that we just have for our own. That's why guys have like man caves and stuff. There's some things that we can just separate ourselves from our ladies sometimes, just to seclude ourselves for a minute, get our own space, and just like to help us focus. And so when we come back, we're fresh, ready to carry to you, all that stuff. Just like let the guy have his thing, whether it's Yu-Gi-Oh, video games, taxidermy, whatever the case may be. Something that brings him joy, especially from a long day of work or whatever he does. Leave that man alone. That's what my elder matriarchs in my family, I remember them saying, it's like, leave that man alone. It's like he worked all day. Leave him alone. He'll come to you. Just let him rest. Let him watch the football game. Let him drink beer in peace. That kind of thing. They don't teach that to young ladies nowadays, at least for the most part. But there's certain things that guys need to have. Just that one slice of life that's just for us to bring us joy, because we already got to fight the world, people, and the world is already harsh enough as it is. If we get the guys can have a little slice to ourselves that brings us joy, don't ruin it for us. The world is already harsh enough, and you trying to add to it doesn't help the relationship any. Doesn't help the relationship any. But that's just my quick thoughts. I mean, like, let me know what you guys think in the comments below about this guy's story, and hopefully he, picks himself up and his channel begins anew and probably got twice the subscribers than he had probably last time, and finds a woman who loves and appreciates what he does. But I will see you guys in a little bit as I cover 2 more movies to wrap up November month, review month. And yeah, take care, and I'll see y'all soon. Peace.